This is what every barber's dream looks like. Traveling the world, cutting A-list celebrities such as Lebron James, Drake, Kevin Durant, Ludacris, and many more. This is Vince, and he is also the first DIOR official barber. He moved to LA from Toronto at the age of 23, where he didn't know anyone and had to start from the bottom. He got his barber license, opened a shop, and worked his way up to where he is today. He also created the most functional backpack for barbers that travel and are on the go, called By Appointment Only. While reaching all this success, he is one of the most humble guys you will ever meet. This is an exclusive podcast with Vince The Barber.
Back in Toronto, I was even like in high school and all that, I was a shy kid. Like I wasn't the type to like go out there and just talk to everyone, like, and then even just talking in front of a class or whatnot. Like it took a lot to kind of grow from that. And coming out here, I was like, dude, no one knows me. No one knows how I am or how I was. So it's like I could kind of be that person now. Like step out of that comfort zone, out of that turtle shell, and just like go out there and be social and just, you know, you're selling your worth, and like you have to tell people that like who you are. Kind of just talk to them more, like build that conversation, and just feel free to hit me up. Like I got
you. What's up, Vince?
What's good, man?
Nice to see you.
Thank you. Thanks for coming out here, bro.
Appreciate you, man. Yeah. So today we're just going to be talking about like, you know, your success as a barber coming from where we come from, Canada, and moving to LA. We want to ask you a couple questions on like, you know, what made you move to LA and start a career here? Like how old were you and how long has it been since you've been down here?
I moved here when I was 23. At that time, I just felt like, I mean, you already know, I was already putting in work for a few years, and I just felt like I reached that plateau where it was like, okay, it's either I open up my own shop, because I worked in several shops out there in Mississauga, and so I was like, it's either I open up my own shop or I try to just, you know, move to a whole different city, a whole different environment, and see if I could make a name for myself. I just felt like I reached like that ceiling, and that was the next step for me. So I was like, before I do that, let me just try this out. Let me move, you know, to, again, different city and see if I can make a name for myself. If it works, it works. If not, I go back home and open up shop, you know what I mean? And so everyone's like, why didn't you just move to New York? I was like, it's too much like Toronto. It's too close to home. And so, I mean, I tried Miami out for like a month or so, and it just wasn't, for me, it wasn't a place for business. It's a place to just go relax, party. But as far as like doing what I wanted to do out of it, like it didn't make sense.
Yeah.
So LA, I was like, man, LA's a land of opportunity. I wanted to get into that lane of like, you know, cutting more ball players, because, you know, my first ball player was Chris Bosh. So it's like,
oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I want to get more into that, and just like rappers and actors, and LA's a place for that. So I was like, let me just take that leap of faith, and you know, it worked out, man. I came down for like 2 months to just try it out, see what the vibe was like, see how the whole industry was as far as like the barber community, and kind of just learn my steps on how I'm able to kind of come down here and, you know, start my career as a barber. And man, I just fell in love with the palm trees, man. And I was like, yeah, this is it. I felt good that, you know, this was the move. So I made that move, man, and it was tough. I'm not gonna lie, like it's not as easy as people think. I've been here, it'll be 14 years come February.
14 years, wow.
Which is crazy.
It went by fast.
Yeah, man.
I remember getting cuts from you like when I was like 16, 17 for prom. I used to do designs in the back of my head.
Yeah, I still have the photo, bro. You and Rob.
Boy, AZ, yeah, you did some crazy stuff. So, damn, it's so nice that you took your talent to somewhere, you know, special, and like, you know, because you reached that ceiling, right? I felt like you need to do that in order to like grow. And I think
100%.
growth is so important in life, right? Like you coming out here and 14 years now down the road, look at where you're at now, cutting like the biggest ball players, celebrities. And I know you're not about that. You're just always been like that. You're like just a genuine human being that just like means good, and just, you're more of a chill guy. So that got you to where you are, just like working hard and paving your way to getting to where you are now, which is amazing. I think a lot of people back home, like myself, we look up to you because you came from a city, you know, small city, Mississauga, probably the second biggest city, maybe in Ontario.
Yeah.
But, you know, going from there to here, that's like really amazing. And, you know, I'm just happy to be here interviewing you, and I was looking forward to this. So I'm just happy being in your place.
No, for sure, man. It's good seeing you, good catching up. You know, I mean, like, even though I haven't been home as much, like, I mean, thanks to, you know, Instagram, I'm able to kind of still kind of check in and see where everyone's at, and just, man, like
sure.
your growth, bro. Like I want to give you your flowers, man.
Oh,
like
thank you.
you know, just seeing your growth and what you've done with Cadman, like, you know, with the academy, the clinic, like, bro, it's inspiring.
Thank you
And
so much.
definitely, like, a lot of people, even out here, barbers want to do shows or workshops and stuff, like seminars. They ask, like, yo, you know Francis? I was like, yeah, that's fam.
That's dope. Yeah.
And just hearing that, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And like
for sure.
that recognition, like that shows a lot for not just yourself and, you know, our relationship, but just the city. You know, like a lot of great talent comes from Toronto,
yeah.
and
Oh, yeah.
I mean, everyone's seeing it now, you know what I mean? So
Yeah, absolutely.
it's dope.
Thank you, I'm humbled. You know, with you, I remember going back in time when you were a barber in Saga. Like, you had some of the best designs and lineups, the best fades, and you really stood out in the GTA, where not a lot of guys are doing the crazy designs like you were doing. Like, it was so, the lines were clean, like it really popped out. Like, I remember my boy Aziz during prom, he came with me to get a haircut, and you did the A in handwriting with a crown on top. And he just kind of showed you a picture, but you made it happen so fast. I'm like, how often were you doing these designs, like, in the past? Like, what got you to, like, be so creative with the
clipper?
liner? Yeah, like,
Well,
did you used to draw or anything?
yeah, so before
Okay.
even cutting, like I would draw a lot. Like that was
Yeah.
my thing. I draw all the time. I just sketch every day after school, like during school. Like I used to tag a lot too. So it's like,
Gotcha, okay.
before I even actually started cutting, I was just doing lineups and designs on all the homies.
Yeah.
And I never knew how to cut.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you remember Kevin from Santa. Big Kev. He Jig cuts with him at.
Yeah. Big
They,
Kev.
they
Yeah,
own
the OG
Art of
Kev.
Barbering.
Yes.
So Kev was our barber growing up, like as kids, and so
Yeah.
we used to go to his house like every week, get cut. And I just sat with him. I was like, "Yo, Kev, want to learn how to cut hair?"
Yeah.
He's like, "For real?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "All right." So then he taught me, and then I just started cutting like Will, Mo, and all those guys, and that's how everything kind of just started. But at first it was just all lineups and designs, because I was just, you know,
That was like the
artistic
style
with
back
that,
in the day
yeah.
too. It's just like everyone shaved their number 2 or
Yeah.
and a ball fade, but you add the design. I get it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, man. And then when I came here, not many people were doing it either. So then I started going at it, and like, I don't know if you remember, but I started working with Tony and Edward, Fade Master.
Yes.
So at the spot,
first,
in Pomona, and so I was kind of showing them how to do it, and it's crazy. Now you look at their page, that's all they do still.
Like designs,
Crazy designs,
color.
like yeah, they go crazy with it.
Yeah.
I don't even. The most I do now is like the Nas
Yeah,
part.
the hard part.
Not too many people come in at, you know, again, like I only cut, you know, the same handful of guys, so you know, they're all older, they don't want the crazy designs,
you kind
but
of grow out of it.
yeah.
But some people still live in that. That's like their culture. They love that shit, right?
But at that time, like doing those designs, that's where the money came in. And you know, back then we were only charging what, like 10, 15.
Yeah.
You know,
design added was like 20, 30 bucks
exactly.
extra, right?
So that's why I was
where-
just trying to grind, like, yo, get a design, man. This
Yeah,
show
that
look
was
dope.
like the package deal. Like, add the design.
So that was
dope,
I feel like that was our way of grinding at the time, you know what I mean, to make extra money. And so like, that's why designs was such a big deal at that time.
That's a good way of looking at it, yeah, because it was an extra, you know. And when we started, it was like, we didn't charge that much back.
No.
It was like, you
couldn't.
You couldn't, yeah. You had to give like, sometimes those free haircuts, maybe like $5-10. The homies want the discount all the time. That's the hard part in the industry too, when you have family, friends, everyone wants free stuff from you. And I think I could relate now too, and I know you could relate. It's like, as you grow and you develop your business and you put in the work, the time, you paid your dues, like, people have to value you for your worth.
No, 100%.
You didn't work so hard to get this far, right?
Exactly.
And you know, and I sometimes even like strangers, they would pay you more money than you know, your
own
friends,
family,
your own family, friends that should be supporting you and paying you. But it is what it is, right?
Yeah.
That's just the nature of the game. And I think in any business that goes, everyone wants the handouts, everyone wants the free stuff. But
yeah, it all comes with it.
exactly, yeah. So what are some of the things that that you had to do to really make it in LA? Like, hustling out here, like, how did you network? How did you get high level celebrity clients? How did you get the biggest clients? How did you get to where you are today? Like, what advice would you give others that want to start in a brand new city to get to where you are?
I mean, it's just all networking, man. Like, one of the things I mentioned, like when I do classes and stuff like that, and I tell my stories, that like back in Toronto, I was, even like in high school and all that, I was a shy kid. Like, I wasn't the type to like go out there and just talk to everyone, like, and then even just talking in front of a class or whatnot, like it took a lot to kind of grow from that. And coming out here, I was like, dude, no one knows me. No one knows how I am or how I was. So it's like I could kind of be that person now. Like step out of that comfort zone, out of that turtle shell, and just like go out there and be social, and just you know, you're selling your worth, and like you have to tell people that like who you are and why would they want to like fuck with you as a barber.
Exactly, yeah.
Everyone here almost has a barber, so it's like, why would you giving out a business card just be like, yo, yeah, here man, take my business card, my barber, like fuck with me. They'll just take it and just dash it.
Yeah, for sure.
Kind of just talk to them more, like build that conversation and be like, yo man, like I know you probably got a barber, but you know, I'm a barber too, and if you know your guy can't take care of you, just feel free to hit me up, like I got you.
Nice.
And I kind of just ran with that, and I went to like all the industry parties, and you know, I was single, so I was just like just really showing my face and beating around all the hot spots in the city. And then one of the major things was like being connected with all these streetwear brands. At that time, like streetwear was huge, so like I was super close with all the Crooks guys. They're Filipino, so like I built with them, told them my story, where I came from, and they got, you know, they're homies with Nico and Drake and all them at the time too. So it was all connected. So yeah, it was just all networking with these guys. And then when it came to opening up Capsule, at that time I had a lot of relationships with people in the industry.
Gotcha.
So when I told them I was opening up a shop, grand opening, and then everyone pulled up, you know what I mean? And that kind of just uplifted the brand, and just more brand awareness with myself and the shop. And then man, from there it was just same thing. I hired a bunch of barbers, like really dope barbers. Till this day they're, you know, some big iconic barbers.
Names, yeah.
With that being said, like it was just, we all kind of just did the same thing. I kind of told them what I did, and we all went out there, did the same thing. We'd kick it all the time, go to parties, just promote. Yeah, the word just got out there, bro. And you know, I tell a lot of people, it's like you never know who's sitting in your chair. You don't know who they do. You don't know what they do, who they know, who they're connected with, and just building that conversation. It's just like, yeah, man, like I came out here wanting to cut so-and-so, and next thing you know, these guys know the manager of this person or that person, and then it's all just plug and play from there, man. So it's important to like, consult with your client, but at the same time, it's important to kind of build that relationship, kind of tell them what you're trying to do. And again, they know so many people, you know so many people. It's all just plug and play out here, man.
Yeah,
and networking, especially in LA, it's like you could get to the person you would never think you'll get to in a matter of like a few days. Just off of like, again, just conversating with people wherever you go. It's just, it's crazy how shit works, bro.
Yeah, it's nuts, yeah.
So like I never knew what it, you know, I gave myself like, I write a list down of like all my goals, what I want to accomplish in like this year and then like the next 5 years. And I told myself, yo, I'm gonna become my first celebrity in LA in like within 5 years. That shit happened in 2 weeks.
Wow.
And then from there, it was just like domino effect, like boom, boom, boom. And I wasn't even like soaking it all in. I was just taking whatever opportunity at the time. So, but again, you know, I was younger. I didn't have kids and stuff. So like I was ready like 2 a.m. Yo, I need to come to the studio. Like, I'm there. Yeah. And just doing that over time, it just, you know, it built a lot of reputation, you know, within my career. And then just the relationships, it just grew and grew and grew from there. But again, like, you know, 14 years in out here, and after maybe, I want to say maybe like 5-6 years of doing that, I then realized like it's, as a barber, like we gotta know our worth, our time. Like our time is valuable. And so what I teach a lot, like what I tell a lot of these younger barbers, it's like don't be a yes man. Like, yes, you're going to get opportunities, especially in LA, but don't take every little opportunity like at a drop of a hat, because it's like these people will treat you like that. And it's happened to me where I was a yes man to all these people just because, yo, I need that. I need this client, or this is the one and only chance I could cut this client. But, you know, in reality of it all, like the more you do that, the more they're just going to be like, yo, I need you at this time now. And if not, like, fuck you, I'm going to get another barber.
I can relate to that too.
Yeah, and it's discouraging when you hear that. Like,
it is, yeah.
Like, damn, I don't want to say no because this is, you know. And over time, man, like I see that like the more you say no, the more you're actually they want you more. You know what I mean? Like you're in demand now, so it's like, damn, I'm gonna take these other guys, but I really want Fran, or I want Vince, like you know. And then it happens where like I'll say no, and I'll say no multiple times just because it was bad timing, and then shit, a few months later, like they'll call back again, and then it worked at that time, and then from that point on, like you're good. Exactly. You know what I mean? But it's just learning that stuff, you know, and that's stuff I'm trying to preach to these guys now, so that way, you know, from the jump, they already know their worth. They, you know, charge your, you know, you're gonna charge your prices too. So I'm not gonna lie. At the start of it all, when I was younger, I was giving like cheap ass cuts for these guys. You know what I mean? Just to get them on my roster.
Yeah, of course.
But then after a while, I'm just like, nah, dude, that's
like your travel time. That's your time.
Yeah.
And time is money.
So now it's like people hit me up like, yo, Vince, how do I charge this? Or now everyone hits me up when it comes to like production stuff, because everyone knows like I've been on set for years. So it's like, I didn't even know that. No one, like you were going back to what you were saying earlier, there's no blueprint for that.
Yeah.
So people are like, yo, how do you know what to charge? I was like, yo, to be honest, I didn't know what to charge. So I was just throwing out whatever numbers.
Yeah.
But now it's like, now I'm trying to create like a blueprint for our industry of like, yo, this is a standard, and like run with it. You know what I mean?
It definitely needs that. That's something that you've experienced being on set, and now it's a whole new thing with a lot of barbers want to be on set, want to be part of a production company, whatever it is, right? They need to understand like, what do I charge, right? And we're learning about that on our end too, with like, because we do a lot of mobile weddings, we do like house calls, and we have like a set price, like a package, and that needs to be barbering. The money needs to be like a set, like there has to be a standard, right? Including for someone like you or myself to have a lot of experience, that we put a lot of time and skill, right?
But that's the thing, people don't look at, you know, what we put in, and like to charge. Like people aren't charging for just the haircut. It's again like the years of work we put in, you know, just everything that comes with it. You know what I mean? It's like, that's like these ball players.
Yeah. It's
like yo, how much?
Show our resume. People need to see like a resume or something. Like how many? It's like people aren't gonna know. People aren't gonna know that. People don't really.
Like I've had instances where people are like, yo, they'll hit me up like a manager or agent, like, yo, I got a client. He wants, you know, to fly you out for, you know, for a cut. Like how much you charge? And I give them my day rate price, and they're like, for a haircut? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm not, you know me, I'm not the type to be like, yo, man, I cut.
You don't have to say that.
It is what it is. You know, you know me if, you know, and so I hate having to explain like why this is what I charge. Yeah. You know what I mean? But it has to be done, man. That's like, and the thing is like, these people don't know, like the cost of what it takes for a barber to come out to you, and they just think it's just a haircut. That's why I want to see all like the Pat Bev video of him saying 300, like, bro, come on, you guys are charging 50, 60, almost 100 grand just to appear at a spot.
Yeah, they got the money.
You know what I mean? Yeah, but it's like, it goes hand in hand.
I know.
And it's just, there's no love for what we do. But now I'm starting to see like grooming is like a big thing now. Oh, you know what I mean? Like all these like high-end brands are tapping into it, and all these other companies are like, they want the grooming. Yeah. And you know, whether it's like starting a grooming line or just all these things. So it's like, now people are kind of understanding, like, and what we're doing.
Touching based on what you're talking about right now, like the DIOR grooming, you know, congratulations on being part of the DIOR team. Thank you. How did you get that? How does that feel being like, I think one of the first barbers I've known? I didn't even know there's barbers in the DIOR scene. That's a massive thing.
No, I mean, that was crazy, because, you know, I've done like Old Spice, Gillette. I've been with Gillette for like 4 years. I've done a bunch of like brand partnerships, but this was like the biggest one, and they just emailed me, man.
That's crazy.
Like, and I was just like, is this legit?
Yeah.
Like the same thing. I was like, I don't even think, I've never heard of no grooming. I was like, this is weird. And I was like, and you know, usually when it comes to partners, like brands, I'm sure you know, it's usually agencies that reach out.
Yeah, of course,
But this was just straight from DIOR, and I was like, oh shoot. And so we literally took like 4 months to just negotiate, you know, the contract, and just kind of learning more about it. And I think over the experience of like working with these other brands, I kind of told them like, yo, I'm at this stage in my life where like, I don't want to just be like an ambassador, just post product, you know, like I'm, you know, 20 plus years as a barber. Like I want to share my knowledge and actually utilize, you know, my experience and just, my knowledge of the grooming space. Like, so I kind of told them like, yeah, this is what I could do for you guys. I want to know what you guys are trying to do with the grooming line. Like, where are you trying to take it? And they understood it, man. Like they're like, no, we want you to help create and help build things out with us. And you're the expert in this space. And we see what you've done. We've been watching you. And so I was just like, okay, like this is where I could really now expand my career versus just, you know, being behind the chair. And yeah, man, like for them to put me on as like the first US ambassador, it's crazy, bro. It's a blessing. And now it's just really trying to, you know, monetize all that and just really like maximize like my relationships with my clients and all that, and trying to, again, like just plug and play, same thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
same thing you've been doing for the past 14 years.
Yeah, so it's like, imagine like just building out activations or events, and I could plug and play with all my clients to pull up to these things because it's like it's Dior. It's they all fuck with it. So it's it's cool, man, to be able to share the stuff that I've been able to accomplish with my clients, and again with something like Dior, just building with them, man. Like I would have never thought.
One of the biggest like luxury brands too, and for them to seeing you, that's like they see something spectacular, and that's something to be proud of for sure.
Yeah,
like,
no, it's a trip, man. Like
think about Dior. When you think about Dior, you think about like luxury, and it's up there with like Louis. It's up there with all the high end.
Yeah, man.
That's
so
amazing.
even just like when I signed the contract and had the whole meeting with them, I was just like, welcome to the Dior family. I was like, oh, then this is legit.
Yeah.
So like I signed with them. I signed with LVMH Group. Like it's just and then just looking at the list of brands that are under LVMH, it's just like, now it's just like, okay, I'm with Dior, but now I could really tap in with all these other brands to kind of show like what I do, and just trying to build on these brand partnerships, man. And that's something now that I could kind of, like, I'm learning it obviously along the way, but once I like master that, then I could kind of share that with like our industry and kind of help others build the same thing, you know what I mean? And that's only growing our industry as a whole.
Absolutely.
So again, it's like every little thing I take opportunity wise, I'm kind of learning it and trying to perfect it and master it and figure out how all these things work. And then I could kind of share that, you know what I mean?
Gotcha.
To help the younger generation.
I like that. And how long has it been since you were part of Dior? And you know what, you said the 4-month process, like I think a lot of people need to understand that with great things that happen, it takes time to make a deal happen.
Man,
and I think some people need to understand, including the younger generation, who wants everything now, right? So there's always behind the scenes where we're actually working towards, a contract or a deal to close it. Yeah. There's still a process. You don't just get a Dior deal. You just don't get all this stuff.
Because at the same time, you want it to make sense to you. So like they're going to offer you something, and obviously you counter it because you see what they want, and then, okay, well, this is what I want out of it. And you kind of just go back and forth until you reach that middle. But yeah, man, it's like something that big, you automatically think like, I'm going to just sign right away but you got to read all the, like,
Absolutely.
So like, you have lawyers now and you have all these things just involved to really make this make sense, in the long run.
For sure.
And so, man, I mean, it's a blessing. I can't wait to see what comes out of it all.
It's amazing, man. So you've been in LA for about 14 years now, and you've seen probably trends. Like trends are always coming mostly from LA, New York, Europe. And back home in Toronto, like we really look up to like guys in LA or Miami or wherever it is, right? And to get my point, what are some of like the trends when you started in LA to what it is now? Like where are the trends and the styles heading? And so let's start from the beginning. Like what were the trends when you first moved to LA, and then the transition to where it's at now?
When I first came out here, it was all just like the tapers. Like tapers were huge. Obviously just, the bald fades and all that. But at the time, I want to say like the faux hawks were still in, and the comb overs. Comb overs were lasting a minute.
Yeah.
Faux hawks had a good couple years, but I think now it just all became more of like a European type of style. Like I feel like ever since like the Paris Fashion Week started becoming like bigger than what it was, everyone's kind of tapping into that style, like the crops and the fringes. And even now I'm seeing a lot of barbers. I mean, I'm sure you see it too. It's just all like styling. It's all shear work.
Yeah.
I myself, I look at myself as just a straight textbook barber.
Yeah.
I kind of stick to what I know.
Absolutely,
and I just feel like I'm not in the position to like really learn all the new things, and like it's just a lot happening at once that like, man, it's hard to keep up, bro.
Yeah. And you like probably sticking to your bread and butter, right?
Yeah,
that's what you're really good at.
Yeah, well, at the same time too, it's like going back to what I was saying earlier. It's like I only take care of my same kind of clientele, and they're strictly fades, tapers.
Yeah.
I have a few, obviously with just shear work, but as a whole, it's like I'm not looking to get a whole new set of clientele. Learning that, but it is dope to see, and hopefully I find time down the line to really take that in and learn how all that is. It's cool just to see the transition of like barbering from when it was just straight barbering to now it's like barbershop meets style, like salon, and it's like that type of work is
and hair salon together,
exactly. So now you see a lot of barbershops where you see a lot of women in there too, because these barbers know how to cut women hair. So it's cool to just see that transition, man, and just seeing even the aesthetics of barbershops from what it was to how it is now. It's again, it's you walk into a barbershop now, it looks like a salon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's cool to see, and I think that elevates now, like barbering.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's
So
like the classiness, or it's more fancier. Like people,
Exactly.
it's like you could charge more.
like, yeah,
right?
there's a barbershop.
It's
like,
clean.
yeah, it's a barbershop salon. You know, so
Yeah.
it's cool to see that, man. But
Yeah.
I think now where the trends are now, there's nothing really changed. It's still kind of, you know, everyone just sticks to the tapers and the fades but yeah, I think majority of the clientele that I've been seeing in and out of barbershops is there's a lot of shear work, a lot of style, like long hair styles. So
Got you.
it's cool.
Yeah, and then from like being back home in Mississauga to here, are you seeing people come more often because the weather is nicer here? Is there a difference between like you know, in Canada we have like seasonal, it's like fall, winter, it's cold. A lot of people wait maybe after a month to get a haircut. Or here in LA, is it like, are people coming to you like on a weekly basis, bi-weekly? Like
Yeah.
what are the...
I think what changed a lot too was when I first started coming out, it wasn't as common. I was used to like the weeklies back in Saga and Toronto. It's just like, you know, you have the same guys that come every week. It's just a natural thing.
Yes.
Here, people would come like bi-weekly or if they got events going on. But then obviously if you have guys that are like in front of the camera all the time, or they got meetings all the time, like business people, then yeah, they'll come weekly.
Yeah.
But I had to train a lot of my clients, you know, throughout the years, and now it's like it's a thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, you got to take care of yourself.
A lot of the clients too, like sometimes.
So a lot of my clients, like now that I only cut
Yeah.
like 2 days a week, it's just a stand-in appointment. You know what I mean? They just book out for damn near the rest of the year type of thing. And if anything happens, they just let me know, and we figure that out. But
nice.
I think it's just a matter of training your clients to come, whether it's bi-weekly, which is fine. But the whole once a month or whenever I have something going on, like, nah, you got to stop that. Like, take care of yourself. It's self-care. You know what I mean? So
self-care is huge.
And you know what it does when, you know, a fresh cut, man. So
they feel way better about themselves. They perform a higher level.
Exactly.
Of confidence.
So having that done once a week, like, it's important, man. So I think it's all about just training your clients to take care of themselves weekly. Yeah.
So what's like your craziest barber story that you've experienced?
Oh man, there's a lot, bro. Like in shop or?
Yeah, just say a scenario in a shop.
Well, one I remember is at Capsule, in my first shop on Melrose. So mind you, Melrose, if people aren't familiar with Melrose, like there's the pop inside of Melrose where all the boutiques are. Capsule was on the other end, like on the hood side.
Okay, gotcha.
So we're at the end of Melrose. And so there's a lot of like homeless people. So we get a lot. We would get a lot of homeless people coming in and out. And there's one time I think it was like a Thursday or Friday. It was packed. You know, music's playing, everyone's just, you know, having a good time, and then all of a sudden, like, a homeless dude comes in and just like strips down. And we're just like, dude, what the hell? And it was hard for, you know, there's kids sitting, like, you know what I mean? So it's hard for us to kind of push them out. But it was like a common thing. We have like, you know, several different people come in there, like act all crazy. And even as a barbershop owner, like, it's things like that, or you don't think of stuff like that when you plan on opening up a shop. It's like you got to worry about all these things, little things like that.
Surroundings, like people coming into your shop, who's coming in, and, you know, you want to protect your shop at all costs,
exactly.
Right? And you want to protect the clients and your reputation.
Yeah. So I mean, there's that instance, and then I'm trying to think of. Oh, here's another. This was a crazy one. So I used to cut Meta, Ron Artest.
Okay, yes, I remember that.
And so that dude, as everyone knows, he's crazy. And so I used to cut him once a week, sometimes twice a week. One time he hits me up, he's like, yo, pull up to the SLS hotel. I was like, all right, cool. He's like, I need a cut. I'm like, all right. So I pull up, I'm like, yo, I'm here, where you at? He's like, I'm at the bar, just come through, have a drink. I'm like, all right. So it's packed Friday night, and I'm at the bar, grab a drink. I'm like, all right, man, what room you at? Like, I'll go set up. He's like, nah, I ain't got no room. I was like, the fuck, so when am I gonna cut you? He's like, go right here. I'm like, nah, man, I'm not gonna cut you at the bar. He's like, all right, let's go. So we go to the restroom, man. And the restroom at the SLS, they have like, you know, those attendants that kind of just work the restrooms?
Yes.
And he goes, yo, grab a chair, like, can you make some room for my barber? Mind you, people are coming in, like, guys are coming in and out of there because it's packed Friday night. And I set up right there, bro, and I'm cutting him.
Wow, that's a crazy.
Yeah,
so
and everyone's
cutting him. You ended up cutting his hair at that.
Yeah, in the restroom.
Crazy.
And everyone's like pulling out their phones. He's like, hey, record this, man. I was like, yo, this dude is crazy, bro. But
He
no,
doesn't care, yeah.
no, but there's a lot of stories with that dude, man. Like another time, it was his birthday.
Yeah.
And it was a game day. I went to his house, cut him right before the game. Brought him a bottle of Hennessy.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, crack this after the win tonight. He's like, nah, man, we gonna crack this right now. I was like, what?
What?
So he took a shot right before the game. I was like, yo, this dude is crazy.
He's lit, eh? He just
Yeah.
wants to turn up all the time.
Yeah,
That's
man.
jokes.
But there's a bunch of stories. But
Yeah.
yeah, off the top, those are probably the like.
That's cool, man.
Most
That's an
memorable ones, yeah.
experience, yeah.
Yeah.
But you still got the job done, right? It's so
No,
funny.
for sure.
That's crazy. So what tools or techniques do you consider essential for providing top-notch barbering services in the city known for its style-conscious clientele? Like, what kind of tools are you using? What would you recommend other barbers to use? Like, you know, what does your arsenal look like?
Shit, you wanna? This is crazy. Look at all this.
Woo!
Yeah.
You got a full package.
Yeah. So
Damn.
it's like, with me, I like kind of playing around with all different clippers just to kind of
Sweet,
see,
yeah.
you know what I mean, like what these companies are working with, like how one's different from the other.
Yeah.
I've been with Barbers. I've been using their stuff for years, man. Like I love the way, you know, their clippers work and their trimmers. But as of lately, I've been working a lot with like Gamma and Stylecraft.
Gamma.
So we've actually been working on a collab for a minute now too.
Amazing.
But no, I've been working with their stuff a lot, bro.
How do you like these? The sabers. I've never seen that.
Yeah,
What
so the
does
style
SC mean?
Stylecraft.
Stylecraft,
So Stylecraft
okay.
and Gamma are pretty much like the same kind of company. I think.
Don't mind me pulling this
Yeah,
out
yeah,
so
it's all
people
good.
See, I know a lot of people in Toronto, Canada, they don't see this tool.
Yeah, so I think Gamma actually, I think both of them, they're actually both made in Italy.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, like I just love the way their motors work and just the clippers in general, man. Like they hit right out the box, bro. But
so
yeah,
you're still investing into your tools nonstop. It looks like
100%,
you're,
man.
because you have a full collection of so many different brands.
yeah, I even have like I got a box
got
in the
more,
garage.
yeah, more,
I
yeah,
just
yeah.
kind of like, you know, I'm a hoarder when
So
it comes
you would
to
just
clippers.
keep buying new if a new clipper came out, you heard really good things, would you go ahead and like, okay, I'm going to purchase this, try it out?
Yeah, I'll
You're
try it out.
nonstop
Yeah.
investing into your tools, testing out
100%.
different things that
Yeah.
work.
So like
That's amazing.
Stylecraft, they,
Uh-huh.
you know, I'm blessed to have them involved with a lot of stuff I got going on. So when
Yeah.
they got familiar with me being on the shop with LeBron, I was like, yeah, give me some clippers. You know, I'll market them. I'll, you know, put them in the shoots and stuff. And
For
so
sure.
they just send me anything new they got coming out. So I'm able
Dope.
to test them out. But yeah, those are kind of like my go-tos. Like these, the X-Circles, these are like my go-to clippers, bro. I love these, man.
Cool. I never even seen these before either.
Yeah. You gotta tell
This is
Gani, man.
American?
Tell Gani
I know.
that.
It's funny back home when you have all these suppliers. It's Gani and a guy named Rob, and they just go at it. It's like a barber competition where like the barbers
Bro.
are going at it, like, you know. But that's funny, man.
Gani's
That's
a
crazy.
legend, bro.
He is a legend.
Shout out to Gani one time.
Shout out to Gani, international talent
Yeah.
boy.
But yeah, man, like
Yeah.
those have been like my go-tos advice-wise, like for barbers out there. I think kind of just it's always good to kind of try out different clippers, see what works for you, because you know there's some heavy-handed barbers, there's some that are
Yeah.
kind of light with it.
That's true.
But what's most important is really understanding your clipper, how it works, really learning how to like, you know, zero gap them, sharpen them even yourselves. Because the more you're in tune with your clippers, like the easier cuts can be, man. And you know how to like execute different cuts and like how you want the different blends. Like, you know, that's what I kind of did. Like I took time to just really understand I like zero gapped all my stuff and just, you know, fine tune them every time, because now you could easily just knock them out. Boom, boom,
And
boom.
would you say, like, with all your tools you have there are certain tools you use for certain textures,
exactly,
right?
yeah.
I was going to say that,
Yeah, so I have certain clients where I really just need like 2 clippers, like, you know,
Yeah.
and that's the cool part is like really understanding like what works with who, and you kind of just have designated set for
Tools,
them.
yeah.
So it's dope.
And I got a question too, like, because you have so many tools, and if someone called you up, one of the clients that you NBA players, for example, that called you up, you have to go cut me over here. How do you know what to bring? Is it if they're a new player, for example, not someone you're already cutting? What would you do? Do you package your whole stuff?
I kind of just stick with like my go-tos, knowing of like, again, it's like, okay, who is it? What kind of haircut?
Yeah.
Then I could kind of pick and choose which
Gotcha,
ones, you know what I
okay.
mean? When it comes to the trimmers, like I just make sure all my liners hit. So
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
I just grab whatever.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
That's dope.
But that's a
That's
cool
dope.
part with like cordless now, man.
Yeah.
It's just charge them up easy. And now they come like, so the cool part with like Gamma, and I don't know if Babyless the other ones have it, but they come with like USB chargers now too. So
Okay,
like
yeah.
they'll come with like the regular stand chargers, but then on the go they have like the small USB ones that you could just charge like that. So
Yeah.
if you have like a portable charger, just boom boom,
Yeah, wow.
charge them on the go too.
That's cool, man. Have you had I didn't see, did you have any JRLs?
No, that I want to try.
Yeah, those are
I
those
heard those hit.
Yeah, I love JRLs. I think you should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try those out.
I'm gonna
next.
send you something.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
The
No.
JRL, you gotta try those
Yeah?
too. Just
I'd
because
love
they
to try
never
them out.
heat up, I feel. I think
Oh, really?
They're so smooth. They're like butter, like. And I love your butter.
Oh, butter soft?
Butter soft. Yeah. And by appointment only. How's your tell about your backpacks,
backpack? Yeah, man.
barber
So
stuff that people need to know about. That's a barber that needs to travel, right? 'Cause
Yeah.
that's something you started from the beginning.
Yeah, so like by appointment only kind of came about from, I mean, as you know, we all kind of carried around the cases.
Yeah.
And I went through, man, I don't even know how many, but they would just break on me. And then my clippers would break, because really it's just a case with just little compartments to throw your stuff
Yeah.
in, but it didn't really protect it. I was like, man, how come no one's ever come out with a backpack that just, because you know, you would carry that and then you would still have a backpack.
Yeah.
So I was like, how come no one's come out with something that's just like one go-to thing? And so even that, man, that was a whole new thing for me, because I didn't know what it'd take to even start one of those or even design. And again, like having that background of drawing, and then I went to school for engineering, so doing blueprints and all that. So I kind of knew, you know, how to create it. I just didn't have anyone to take that and turn it into a real thing.
I see.
But it was just all, again, networking, meeting people. And I had a good homie. He's actually from Toronto. Jay. Do you know Jay?
Jay.
Huang.
If I see him, maybe.
If you see him, you know. But yeah, he was like, yo, I'm
Korean Jay?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know Jay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Guy.
So he's like, yo, man, like my homie, like they're sourcing agents. And I was like, oh, shoot. And so that's how we kind of came about it. I gave him my designs and threw them in, and they teched it out. And yeah, man, I just wanted to create something for our industry that's like easy for people to travel, and they're TSA approved as carry-ons.
Amazing.
And we've been in business, what, like 6 years now. So
you've had that for a while. Yeah.
But
I
now
have a
we're
couple backpacks. I have one of your side bags.
Oh, the sidekicks. Yeah,
I love that, where it's just like, you know, simple.
grab
You
and
put a
go,
couple-
man.
Yeah, grab and go, and then have your backpack as well.
Yeah, so that's like like the sidekick. If I just have like house calls within the city, I just grab that. Again, just pack what I need and go. And I'm not the type to carry all the tools. All I need really is just three to four max.
Yeah.
Depending on, again, where I got to go or what I got to do. But then I have like the light, the general, and I just, whenever I travel, I just use that, carry it on, don't have to check it in.
Sweet. Shout out to By Appointment Only.
Thank you, bro.
Go
man.
visit. Where can people see it? Was there a site or something?
Yeah, byappointmentonly.co.
Gotcha,
So it's
okay.
BYAPPT.
Dope.
I mean, APPTonly.co.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
We'll put that on the link.
Yeah,
you know?
but now we're trying to, like the whole thing with By Appointment Only, I don't want it to be like a name or a brand that just stood for barbering. So By Appointment Only is really like being exclusive to your brand or to your craft.
Amazing.
So we're now expanding into like lifestyle. So we got lifestyle bags now.
Amazing.
We're eventually going to tap into like tattooing,
Sick.
makeup artists, stylists, DJs. So it's like,
Whole lifestyle,
exactly,
whole culture
man.
behind it. That's
yeah.
amazing.
So that's the goal.
Good luck with everything with that.
Thank you, bro.
You're gonna kill it. Okay. So in your opinion, what sets you apart, a successful barber in Los Angeles, from others in the profession?
That's a tough one. I think it's my drive, I guess. You know, like my vision of things too. It's like I see the industry now. You know, over the years, there's a lot of like you mentioned earlier, like they see us doing this thing and they just want to be that. They just want to do that.
Yeah.
Like for me, it's like I get DMs, emails all the time. Like, yo, man, I want to be a celebrity barber. And it's like, it's cool, but it's more to it than that.
Yes.
Obviously, at a younger age, like, yeah, man, it's a dope thing.
Yeah.
I'm cutting all these celebrities, blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, it's like, they're just like us. They just made it and they got money.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's just like, it's just a bonus to what we do anyway on a regular day with our clients. Like, you know, cutting a celebrity, yeah, it just adds on as like it's like a bonus client, I guess, you know.
Yeah.
But I think what separates me is just, yeah, man, just like my vision of things and like my outlook on life and just the career and our industry as a whole. I think there's a lot, again, it's a lot of the younger generation just chasing. And I think you got to look more into like, as a barber, like the longevity of it. And that's one thing they don't teach you at all is like
that.
how do you sustain longevity as a barber? especially when the pandemic hit. I see a lot of ill barbers, man, that were in this game, and then pandemic hit, they just cut it out and started something else. Again, to each their own. Like, if they're good with it, they're happy, then, you know, it is what it is. But I think it's really just training yourself and figuring out your steps in life. I'm like, okay, I'm a barber, but now how can I, you know, take what I've learned and take my skill set and my relationships I build to like becoming something bigger. So for me, it's like where I'm at now, again, 20 plus years in it. You know, I've cut a lot of big names in the industry, but now it's like, I don't want to go 20 plus years to say I cut so-and-so. That doesn't show anything. You know what I mean? I got kids and it's like, yeah, man, like, look, son, I cut all these ball players and that's all I have to show for it is signed jerseys and a photo. Nah. Like, now it's like, okay, if I'm around these millionaires and these tax, you know, this kind of money every day, why can't I kind of tap into that too? So now where I'm going back to what I said with the whole Dior thing and like building these brand partnerships, like now I could plug and play my clients with these brands, and now I'm able to kind of share that money. You know, I make money with them, they make money with
you
me.
See, like, the big picture. That's
exactly.
To that. I get it.
So now it's like I'm damn near almost like creative director of myself, like what I do, and like expanding it with my relationships. You know what I mean? So like, I'm not just your barber, I'm your business partner now. You know, I'm trying to build that relationship where let's do business now together. Like, don't come to me to cut your hair. Like, I'll cut your hair no matter what, but like, let's chop it up and make and break bread. Like,
love that.
So that's like my vision now is like, okay, how do I, again, tap into that? You know what I mean? How do I make money with these $1 million, $1 billion clients?
Yeah.
You know, again, I just, you know, being a barber and just cutting them doesn't show anything for it. You know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong, I've been blessed to like, you know, cut them all the time and build relationship with them, and, you know, make good money doing shoots and stuff with them like that. And you know, I've been able to, you know, live a good life and, you know, buy my first house here in LA.
Congrats,
But again, it's just, you know, there's a bigger picture to it all other than just being their barber. And I think that's something the younger generation has to start kind of thinking about, you know, like your 5-year plan, your 10-year plan. Like, once you start a family, you can't do the things that you used to. You can't grind like you used to. So you got to think smarter, you know, without having to work so much, so much harder, you know what I mean? So I think now there's other ways, as you could tell, there's other ways to make money and generate money. And that's something I think us as like pioneers in the industry have to teach the younger generation, like doing this stuff, the YouTube stuff. Like, everyone's like, yo, Vince, how come he didn't start like a YouTube video way back? I was like, because everyone was doing it. I want to do something different. And that's always been my thing, is like stepping outside of what everyone is doing and like kind of picking my own lane. And you know, when I go to these barber shows, they're like, yo, man, like, and you know me, I don't I'm not a content creator. And with me, I kind of just like showing balance. So I like showing like, you know, me and my kids, my family, and then obviously barbering here and there, but things I'm working on. But it's not just like barber. So when I go to these shows, they're like, damn, like, how do you know so-and-so? And, you know, there's like the big names of in our industry. I'm like, man, and then they're like, yo, you don't know Vince? They're like, no, man. You know, the younger kids are like, no, I don't. And then they like understand and they see it more, and they're like, oh shoot, like, you do this and this and this. I'm like, they're like, how come you don't do the stuff that these guys are doing? I'm like, because that's their thing.
Exactly.
It ain't my thing, you know. So I think it's just, that's what kind of separates me, you know what I mean? Like, I just like kind of want to do my own thing.
You stick to your own lane. And
I just want to create my own hype, you know. That's why I even like the first shop with Capsule. I don't want to be on the pop inside of Melrose. I want to be on the whole other side and like make it pop out this way, you know what I mean? And that's just been my thing. It's just, you know, being the outsider. You know what I mean? Like, be the outsider. And at the end of the day, like, we're just barbers, bro. You know, like,
people look good.
Like,
it's our job.
Exactly. And so when people try to, as a barber, put them on like a whole pedestal of like, yo, I'm this guy. Nah, man.
Egos, entitlement.
We're still behind the scenes of shit. You know what I mean? And that's what you got to remember. Like, end of the day, we cut hair. But now, how do you take that and make it bigger than what it is? Like, you know, you could start off with just being the barber, but years down the road, like, what do you want to make for yourself? Like, what, you know, whether you have a whole line of a chain of barbershops and now you're just like an entrepreneur, business owner, or like, I don't know, you know, obviously, you know, for those that are fine with just being behind the chair, you know, and they're comfortable with it, you know, that's their thing. But for me, I just kind of want to, I want to create dope shit with dope people, bro.
Amazing, bro. I love it.
You know what I mean?
I love it. I know we've been talking about it the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you've been telling me your story and where you're kind of heading. You always have a long-term plan, which is amazing. And barbers, younger barbers watching this should follow those steps and having like a 5-year to 10-year plan, because, you know, you got to look into your future, right? It's not just now, right? You put the hustle now, but you build towards something else and you just keep growing from there. So what's next for you?
Man, I got like a whole list of shit I want to do. And Kim, my fiance, she's always just like, man, you got like, babe, you got to just focus on one thing at a time. And, you know, don't fill your plate up too much, because then, you know, you won't have time for yourself or the family. Or so it's really just, even just learning that, man, just really, you know, as an entrepreneur, we're just like trying to figure things out. And we're working on something while another thing's already, you know, working its way up. But I think for me is really just, again, focusing on one thing at a time. One thing I've been wanting to do for the longest is write a book. I want to create like a little coffee table book, nothing too crazy, but a little bit of talking about like our industry and just barbering as a whole. And then just my life experiences and like what came with it. Because a lot of people don't, like outside looking in, there's like, damn, you're a barber, you're able to do all these things. It's like, yeah, this is what us barbers do now. Like, we're not just looked at as a place you just, you know, person you just go to get a haircut. Like, it's a bigger thing now. It's a bigger deal. And I think just coming out with a dope book like that will open that up more, you know, have other people look at barbering now as like, oh shoot, it's up there with, you know, doctors, lawyers, engineers.
Book, I'm gonna buy that book and we'll buy it for everyone at the shop.
No, man, like that's the goal, to really just, you know, I want to create something that like these young kids could look at like, damn, you know, like this is possible.
You
know
gotta
what I mean?
make that book, yeah.
So that's been my thing, man. I just really want to show that anything is really possible, bro. Like all this stuff, I'd never even thought of happening in my career. My whole goal was just come out here and just make a name for myself. And then everything else was just, you know.
That's amazing.
It is what it is.
More than that, so, you know.
Yeah, so even now it's like, man, you made it. Like everyone back home, like homies like, yo, man, you successful now? I'm like, nah, bro, I'm really just getting started. Like every other opportunity is just leading to like the bigger thing. Like, what's the bigger thing? I don't know yet. You know what I mean? It's just, I'm just going with it, man.
I love it, man.
You know what I mean? Appreciating and being grateful for everything that's happened. But again, it's just like, I don't want to get comfortable. And that's been my biggest thing from the jump, is like, don't ever get comfortable like that. You know, you always want more, but obviously being grateful and thankful for what you have at the moment and living in the moment. But again, it's just with having a family, kids, like you just want to create that empire, man, where
absolutely
they ain't got to go through what we did. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, man, just want to create dope shit with dope people, bro. That's the goal.
Well, thank you for having us. I really appreciate you. You know, that was really inspiring just listening to you. I'm looking forward to your journey, and we'll keep in touch and we'll keep growing together.
Hell yeah, man.
Yes, sir.
My G.